Hey guys, it's Amber here with eTrailer. Today we're going to take a look at our favorite bike racks for women's bikes. Now what makes women's bikes different from traditional bikes is the slanted top tube here. This is called a step-through frame. Now if you ride a bike like this, you probably know that it's a little bit difficult to find a bike rack that plays nice with your bike. So we put together a list of our favorite bike racks that do work with these type of bikes, so let's get started. We looked at 3 different criteria when determining which bike racks we're going to make our list. First one was that it worked well with step-through frames, and this means that we chose platform bike racks for our list. Hanging bike racks can be really great, but they aren't very easy to use with step-through style bikes. You will need an adapter for step-through frames to use on hanging racks, like this here. This is just an extra part you have to buy. This is something else that's touching your bike. So we chose all platform bike racks that don't require any adapters for using with step-through frames. The second criteria was a weight consideration. We all have different physical abilities. Some of us are able to lift very heavy bike racks, but not all of us are. So we kept that in mind too when choosing which bike racks made our list. The bike racks on this list are typically either lightweight or they have wheels to get the bike rack to your vehicle. And the third criteria was that it was just an all-around great, secure bike rack because we all want our bikes to get to the trail safely. First up on our list is going to be the Hollywood Destination bike rack. And this is going to be our 4-bike version, but it also comes in a 2-bike version. So whether you're biking solo or with a friend, or you want to bring your family or the whole girl gang along, there are options for you. What I like about this rack is that aside from being a budget option, it is a very easy bike rack to load, especially for a budget option where you typically see those center mast posts. But this one's going to allow you to adjust the frame cradles to your step-through bike, so you don't need any adapters. It's going to work really well no matter what shape of bike that you have. Another thing that I really like is that it's relatively lightweight, especially the 2-bike version, but even the 4-bike version is not too heavy for what it is. So if you're looking for something a little bit easier to lift, I definitely recommend this one. The next bike rack on our list is the Kuat NV. This is one of my personal favorite bike racks. For one thing, I just really love the way it looks on the back of a vehicle. It's very compact, it's very sharp, just looks really great. It's the kind of rack that you're going to want to leave on your car all the time. Another thing that really works for step-through frames is this wheel hook right here. So a wheel-mounted platform rack is going to be much easier to use than most frame-mounted racks with step-through frames specifically, because you don't have to worry about clamping down over that top tube. All bikes have wheels, so if you can secure it by the wheel, that's going to be just much easier to use. I also really like that it's made of corrosion-resistant aluminum. It's one of the only bike racks out there that is. This is just going to be great for biking in those humid climates if that's where you happen to live, so just something to keep in mind. Another couple of features that I really like about this bike rack, one of them is the trail dock feature here in front. So if you happen to be riding and something happens to your bike and you need to perform some quick maintenance, the trail dock repair stand is really going to come in handy for performing those on-the-spot repairs. Another thing is this tilt-away lever right here. This is going to make it really easy to tilt your bike rack away from your vehicle. I like that it's very easy to access. It's not located super far back where I can't really reach. And you don't even have to lift the bike rack up the way you do with some racks to take the tension off of a pin. You just pull it, it releases. So it's something I really like, especially because this bike rack is extremely heavy. That is one con with this one, is it is a little bit difficult to get to your vehicle's hitch. But on the other side of that, because it's a sturdier bike rack, it is going to support heavier bikes like e-bikes, which I happen to have, so I really like that this is an option as well. Next up on our list is the Thule Easyfold XT. This is another bike rack that I really like. It's going to work with those heavier e-bikes. Again, I think that's really important to make sure we include those on this list. So something I like about this is the integrated wheel feature that lets you move the bike rack from your garage to your vehicle. It's really heavy to actually lift this, so I really like that the wheel feature makes it super easy and it takes most of that work out for me. Another thing that I really appreciate is the adjustable frame cradles here. So it does make contact with your bike frame, so if that's something that you're a little bit wary of, you might not want to use this rack, but I really like it. The cradles are padded and the adjustability makes it really easy to use for step-through frames or standard bike frames. Another feature that I really like about this bike rack is the easy to reach tilt lever. So I really hate having to reach behind a bike rack to pull a pin or reach a lever in the very back. So I really appreciate that Thule puts it front and center. It's very easy for me to support the bike rack with my hands and hit the lever with my knee. The other huge feature with this bike rack is this integrated ramp here. This is going to store on your bike rack, which is pretty great, but I will say it's not the end all and be all feature of this bike rack. I do still have to lift my bike up onto the rack when I use the ramp because the ramp is so steep. So it does help guide the bike up a little bit, but it is an extra feature if that's something that you're interested in. Next up on our list is the Yakima Holdup. This is another bike rack I really like because it's a wheel mounted bike rack rather than a frame mounted bike rack. So no matter how steep your step through is, this is going to be able to hold it just fine. It also comes with integrated cable lock, so that's a nice bonus that you don't have to buy separately. The Holdup is going to be 49 pounds, so it's not the heaviest bike rack on the list, but it's also not the lightest. Another thing about this bike rack is that it has a 60-pound weight capacity, which makes it great for those heavier bikes like e-bikes. And speaking of loading up heavy bikes, what makes that especially easy is the loop behind the wheel strap here, so you can actually tuck the wheel strap out of the way and load your bike up with two hands and not have to be trying to get the strap out of the way with one of your hands. So that makes it a lot easier, especially if your bike is really heavy. One thing I'm not the biggest fan of with this bike rack is the tilt-away feature. So I do like that it's included, but it is a little bit awkward to reach, especially when you have your bikes loaded, and if your arms are short, you have to kind of lift up on the bike rack and pull the pin at the same time in order to tilt it away. Next up on our list is the Kuat Transfer. This is going to be a great option, especially for those of you that need a 4-bike rack to bring the whole girl gang along, because it's so easy to load up your bikes with this rack. So usually you have to reach over your 4-bike rack to load up the bike closest to the vehicle, but with this one, because the center is open, you can just walk your bike right back, so it's much easier. Something else I like about this bike rack is that it is another wheel-mounted rack, so you don't have to worry about anything touching your frame. Just do keep in mind that this is not e-bike rated, especially the 4-bike rack. The 2-bike version is rated for 60 pounds per bike, so you might be able to get a lighter e-bike onto one of those, but that is going to be a limitation of this. One other thing that I don't love about this rack is the lever, the tilt-away lever all the way down here. It's super easy to hit when there's no bikes loaded, but it's very difficult to reach when all of your bikes are loaded. I can't reach it with my leg. I have to go around the back and reach that lever with my arm. So just do keep that in mind if that's a feature that you really care about. Well guys, hopefully that helped you find the right bike rack to suit your needs with your step-through frame. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. We'll see you next time. Happy cycling. If you guys like that content and want to check out more, go ahead and click this video up here. To check out the products that we mentioned, click up here or visit the links down in the description. Check out our playlist over here or subscribe to our channel to see all the videos that our awesome e-trailer teammates put out.